playing that Lemmy song again, but that's it changed, Stephen. We're coming in. I'm coming to get you in. Hear me. I'm coming to get you.
Does it classy designer drug ecstasy?
We were poorer than poor, and all we had to keep us going was a sachet of powdered custard and a wee flat in the West End. It was some of the best days of my life, you know.
Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Movie News here at MP. John, you threw me under the bus once more. But that proves we're live and we're interactive here at Movie Burner Entertainment. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. And I just realised I said Movie Burner Entertainment for the first time in a long time. But that is our name. We are the Movie Burners. I'm Stephen, this is John, we are the Movie Burners and we are here to talk about entertainment. So that's what we're doing.
Shreya Singh, is it? Absolutely bang on. It is
I just saw a hand coming into my
yes, it's good that you say
it's like I've got a big hand, like, whoa.
It's the thing, Stephen.
Yeah.
It is good that you said that. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that in a moment. That is the headline, that is the thumbnail. And
I
it is
my man to act that role.
Salman Khan says
no.
To Thalapathy Vijay's Master Remake reunites with this filmmaker. This is the headline coming in from Times of India, John. And it says, recently there were rumours that Salman Khan had been approached for the Hindi remake of Thalapathy Vijay's film Master. Now, we talked about it a month ago. That was what it was. It was heavy rumours at the time. And needless to say that the fans were super excited about the same. However, the recent update, not our community, however, the recent update is sure to leave the fans a little disappointed. According to reports, Salman has said no for the Hindi remake of Master. Well, we know that the fans are a little upset, but that's changing soon as Bai is all set to shift his gears for jumping in between genres while turning back to one of his trusted directors, Anis Bazmi. Now, there is a video there, and it's I don't think he actually does speak in the video, John. I can't remember. It's one of those.
To find my mouse cursor, Steve,
it's one of those narrated videos that you're getting from a reporter, where it's heavily rumoured that he has said no. Just like it was heavily rumoured they did say yes a month ago. So it's not anything confirmed either way. But I think this is probably the way it's going to go, John. What's your thoughts on this? Because Salman Khan, we know. You've got some ideas of who should do it, and also the whole Indian region thing, John. We're still trying to get our heads around. We're getting there. We are starting to realise the difference between the regions, difference between the studios, and all these remakes that we keep seeing and we keep reacting to, and people are not happy with us doing the remake versions. But what's your take?
I think it's Drysham was the one with Mahanlo, the Malayalam actor, absolute legend in the south of India. He starred in the first one, the second one, and Stephen, we reacted to the second or the first one, but we reacted to Ajay Devgan's version, which was a remake from the north. So that's an example of it not being as good. Drysham 1, 2 from the south, Mahanlo movies, very good movies. Ajay Devgan one, probably not bad, but not as good as those ones, those original ones from the south. So for me, having spoken to Ruth, who comes on, and she's quite an expert in Indian cinema, certainly South Indian cinema.
I remember a comment.
Because I think Ruth has got ancestral links to Kerala, which is, I think, actually Malayalam. I may be wrong there, you can correct me in the chat if I'm talking crap there. I'm clearly not Indian, I'm 2% Indian, but I have no clue when it comes to actual Indian dialects and where they reside. I think I know. But Stephen, for me it wouldn't work. I've not watched any Salman Khan movies, incidentally, only solely reacted to them in terms of trailer form. Very clear to me he's a very action kind of Tom Cruise actor. He's a big buff guy. I don't want to belittle his acting because he may
that's where the similarities with Tom Cruise. He's a big guy.
Tom Cruise ain't that big. Big out the way. Tom has got a good physique, to be fair to Tom. So I don't want to belittle him. I don't know enough about the man's career. But Ruth actually does know a lot about his career, and certain other people have commented in the actual comments before as well, and she suggests that he isn't nuanced enough. He's not a talented enough actor to step into the shoes of a Thalapathy Vijay. Stephen, we've watched numerous Thalapathy movies now, and one thing you always get from this guy is a very good performance.
Range.
Very good range. He'll do different characters. He'll play a maverick. He'll play 2-3 characters in the one movie who are all distinctly different. But Stephen, more importantly, what he brings to the performance is very physical.
Yeah.
Brings humour, brings the right touch of emotion, the right touch of humanity.
To the character of JD. Yeah.
To the character of JD, Stephen starts off as this sort of drunkard, carefree
it's
spirit.
It's not an all-out action film, that's why, it's
and
layered.
Stephen, by the middle point when the kids get hanged, also that turns him. You see a real emotional moment for that character. He changes his whole life.
Yeah.
And his interactions with the sort of kids in the first school, his interactions in this juvenile detention, it's just an amazing performance. It requires a really, really talented actor to come in and play that role and do it right. Stephen, I personally ain't for remakes, but it's something that's institutionalised in India. You've got your areas and they just don't watch.
I think language barriers as well, isn't it?
Language barriers. A lot of people don't speak Tamil up in the north. It's mainly Hindu or Hindi, I should say. Hindu's a fucking religion.
When it's like that, John, you've got to understand why they do it.
Yeah, you've got to understand
because it's more authentic rather than doing the old
Steve,
lazy dubbing thing.
You could subtitle it.
They could subtitle
still
it,
watch the original performance. And you've got guys like Shah Rukh Khan.
John, I know we're going down an Indian sort of rabbit hole at the moment with cinema. I would not watch an Indian movie that was dubbed into English. No, wouldn't do it.
No, you wouldn't. But subtitles, Stephen. We've
got subtitles because we don't speak Indian at all.
But Stephen, even before I started watching Indian movies, I was someone that was well versed in foreign language movies. I'd watch French movies, German movies, Danish movies, Korean movies. So I am used to watching movies with subtitles. It doesn't bother me. I don't quite understand why they can't watch a Thalapathy Vijay version of a movie with subtitles, and then you're getting the best performance instead of remaking it and it losing its edge. Because Stephen, it's I'm blanking on his name for some reason. Absolutely terrible. Lokesh Kanagaraj, was it him? The Dunmaster, and it's obviously Thalapathy. That's your raw and filtered version of a movie. Taking it up the north and doing a Hindi version, it's going to lose something. And for me, as I say, Salman Khan isn't the correct actor to do it. For me, if you're going to twist my arm, hi, incidentally, welcome in. I'll read this comment before I actually make my little statement here. It's good he said no. If the movie wasn't good enough for the audience, they would start saying bad things to him again. Oh, is he a reputation for people coming after him and criticising him? That's a shame, because look, the guy's a unit. I'm so impressed with his physique. I actually was searching him up to do a thumbnail, and his physique is unreal. You can see he's dedicated to his craft. And look, he seems to be a great action. I think he done Ek the Tiger, was it? And there was another one. These sort of big blockbuster action movies, we reacted to them. They look cool as hell. But for me, I wouldn't want to see it. In my opinion, remake would be bad. The original was better. Exactly. For me, Stephen, the last thing I'm going to say before I allow you in, and you're fucking hosting the show, Stephen, so I don't want to take over. But I want to pass this to you and see if you agree.
Yeah.
We spoke to Ruth. By all accounts, there has been remakes of Thalapathy movies in the past, and Amir Khan has come in and played the Thalapathy role, and it's been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Not as good as Thalapathy's, pretty damn good though. I want to see Amir Khan playing the JD character in a Hindi, North Indian remake of Master. If you must do it, which I don't want, but if you must, bring in Amir Khan. We've watched a couple of his movies. He's a very good actor. What's your thoughts on that, Stephen? Salman, I'm glad he said no. He obviously realises himself it's not for him. The role wouldn't fit him. He wouldn't be able to do it justice. Do you think Amir Khan could come in and do this role and do it well?
John, I've only seen bits of 3 Idiots. I think that's the one, which looks very good.
Remake,
I really do want to see that film. But we obviously did the wrestling film,
Dangle,
which was a great range. That's the kind of film that I would expect Thalapathy Vijay to perform in, with that kind of character that has got great range and emotion. And a backstory. That seems to be a telling thing with Thalapathy Vijay's characters. They've always got this backstory, this history, and it's the same in that film as well.
As you go through the movie.
I think so, and I think that helps the actor as well to have that sort of implanted in their brain when they're reading the script and they know the backstory of the character. I think it helps them, invest in it. And I think Amir Khan would be a good shout. I'm like you though, John. I think if I don't want to see it, I'd rather they just didn't do it, but it looks like it will happen.
It's the music as well.
Yeah.
How do you recapture that music? Is it Anirudh? I think it's Anirudh who did the music. I'm going to have to search that up. But the music was so good.
I don't know how they would do it, John.
Master the Bastard, Cutie Story, Vaffy Coming. You take those songs away, you try to rework them with a different composer, it's not going to work. The music is what made it.
It's funny, John. I'm going to throw a question back at you now.
Oh,
right, this is more from a Western audience. Would you like to see Master remake Hollywood style?
Yeah.
Would you like to see?
Stephen, the story was fantastic. It was a great story. This journey of this guy lost his way. His mentor had I'm trying to remember what happened to his mentor. he actually explains it to the teacher.
Because for a good while we were like, what's this guy's problem?
Off the rails. I think he lost his mentor, he lost his way a bit, and then the kids, getting in and educating the kids, it was a comfort zone for him.
Yeah.
He was loved. He goes to this juvenile detention centre where he isn't loved, and he's got a challenge on his hands to, I don't know, redeem these kids and get them fully fledged, well-rounded adults getting into life. And it's such an interesting story. And even the side characters like Arjun Das in it, brilliant little characters. If you can cast it right, if you can get the right screenwriter in, is that even the right thing? In a Hollywood setting, Stephen, this movie would work, man. I don't know who you'd get in to write it. I don't know who you'd get in to direct it. I don't even know who you'd cast. But the casting would be key, because you need a good actor who's nuanced. But if you can get all of those core components together in a Western setting, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
And look, I tell you what, I'd love to see music in a Western movie being utilised the way it is in India. Because if you can combine that drama with a sort of musical
when you're talking about that there, I'm already picturing Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan would be great. That's
someone like him, you know.
I tell you, man, that would be a brilliant shout, Stephen, and someone like maybe a Stephen Capel Jr. Directing it, getting in some minority talent.
I know a lot of people out there watching this right now are hating us for even suggesting this.
Oh, I know.
The actual original film is perfect the way it is.
But
get
B. Jordan's great, man. He's a great actor, and he's played roles like that, Fruitvale Station, stuff like that with Ryan Coogler. I don't think Ryan Coogler would do it because he's such a big, busy guy now. He's doing Marvel projects, but getting a Stephen Capel Jr. and maybe even Michael B. Jordan directing it. Yeah, that'd be a great shout, man. I don't know if he can dance, though. Would you do the dance sequences? I don't think they would do that, John. That would be what would be missing from the Western version if it was done. That's why I love the ending stuff, because the dancing is brilliant. It condenses things. It tells you a story about this cootie story. Let me tell you a short little story. Come with me. Pay attention,
John.
Please.
The viewing figures on YouTube say it all, you know, for the clips that have been put out by, I don't know if it was a studio, if it were official clips or not, but
I'm going to search up this composer's team because it's annoying me. I think it is Anirudh. Yeah, and I'm going to search it up and make sure.
But you know, I'm quite happy with the way it is. I get that, you know, at some point studios will be looking at how much money that made, and they'll be thinking, we do need to remake this, because at the end of the day that's what studios do, make money.
Stephen, Anirudh Ravichandran is so young, isn't he? It's unbelievable. This guy is a couple of years older than me. He's so baby-faced. It's unbelievable.
He looks about 12.
I need to know what the skincare routine is over in India, because my God, I need it. Stephen, last thing I'll say is you're right, it's all about money. And sadly the studios up in the north will want to capitalise on the success. This was a movie that done really good business during a pandemic. Absolutely destroyed the box office in terms of, I can't remember the exact amount it made. It was crores, wasn't it? Multiple crores. It was a great performance from Thalapathy. You had Vijay Sethupathi as the villainous Bhavani. You had some great side characters and interesting story. They want to capitalise on that and do their own take on it, and hopefully it'll be even half as successful, and that'll still be a win for them. Because the north just now, from what I'm hearing, going through a bit of a sticky patch when it comes to filmmaking. The south very much in their eyes, doing some interesting stuff. But look, man, I'm sure the south's remade some north stuff as well. I'm sure it's not all one way. So what'll be will be. They need to cast it right. I'd pick Amir Khan. Yeah. Not Salman Khan. Yeah. Wrong Khan. Yeah. Khan.
No can do. But anyway, John, we'll move on to our next topic, which is all about Johnny Depp.
That was a Star
Trek.
Easter egg.
And it's coming in from Screen Rant.
The Shat.
.com, and it's Johnny Depp's comments on Hollywood boycotting him after Amber Heard allegations. Johnny Depp opens up about his legal turmoil with Amber Heard and The Sun, saying that his battles are causing Hollywood to block him and his work. Now I'll read a little bit about this, John, because I actually put this in specifically for yourself, because I know that we've actually got the soapbox down here. I'm going to slide it along to John when he comes in, and he can get tore in. But in a recent conversation with the Sunday Times via comic book, Depp claimed that Hollywood is boycotting him over his messy legal spats. The actor particularly referred to his latest feature film, the historical drama Minamata, and which premiered in the UK on Friday, but is yet to bow in the US. I didn't know about this, but Depp implied that the reason his movie hasn't gotten a premiere date in the US is his libel lawsuit against The Sun and his pending case against Heard, which at this point are posing as major obstacles in his career. Now I'm just going to read what he says, John. It's just a couple of lines. We looked,
some cast, by the way.
Yeah, we looked these people in the eyeballs and promised we would not be exploitive. That film would be respectful. I believe that we've kept our end of the bargain, but those who came in later should also maintain theirs. Some films touch people, and this affects those in Minamata and people who experience similar things. And for Hollywood's boycotting of me, one man, one actor, and an unpleasant and messy situation over the last number of years. But you know, I'm looking forward where I need to go to make all that to bring things to light. So he's keeping an open mind, John.
Yeah, Stephen, look, he has to keep an open mind because we've seen multiple situations like this before in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp is the latest, but we've seen guys like Robert Downey Jr. in the past. Mel Gibson, rightly, because he was stating sort of anti-Semitic statements out when he was drunk. He was saying anti-Semitic stuff, anti-everything really.
Yeah.
Mel was a bit of a toxic figure when he had a drink in him, but he's been redeemed. He's went on to make the best picture directed movies. Hacksaw Ridge, was it, with also Andrew Garfield. Robert Downey Jr.'s story is iconic now. He's went from being really in the dumps, abusing drugs and stuff like that, which he'll speak about it before the guy. He's not shy when it comes to touching on the darker side of his life, but he's now an absolute superstar. He starred as Tony Stark in that MCU for 11 plus years, at a position now where he can probably work with his wife, I think it is, a production company, and pick and choose what to do. So he's been at the top, he's fell, and he's came back again. With Johnny, I think the only thing that Johnny's going to save his career now, Stephen, is this libel lawsuit in the States.
Yeah.
Because he's lost the one over here, and it's no surprise to anybody watching that case. It's Rupert Murdoch. He has an unhealthy influence in the United Kingdom. This fucking I can't even say the name, Antipodean cunt, I'm going to call him. That's not a word that gets flung out a lot on this show, but for him it's reserved because he is a cunt. And look, if you're from the United States and you feel a little bit sick in your stomach about that, because I know they don't like that word, that's a word that's used.
It's a
multi-dimensional word over here. You can
get
see
your point across. You're
a good cunt, you're a bad cunt. Rupert Murdoch is a bad one, Stephen. He owns a son, and he had friends in the actual
Sky.
He owns Sky.
Yeah.
He had contacts that were actually involved in the court case, so it was no surprise to anybody that ultimately Johnny lost that lawsuit, despite the huge amount of evidence that obviously Amber Turd was abusing, equally if not more than Johnny. I'm not saying, this is what I'll say, I'll make this statement, I'm not saying Johnny Depp didn't do anything during this whole process. He was taking drugs, he was addled out his nut and drink and stuff like that. It's highly possible he's done something as a, maybe, I don't know, defending himself or hitting, maybe his buttons have been pushed by this fucking weirdo abuser who shites in beds. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but she's got a history of abusing people, Steve. She's got a history of abusing her sister, a history of abusing other partners she's been with. She's an abusive, borderline personality sort of disorder individual, and she gets to keep her job. And this is the hypocrisy. But until he wins this lawsuit over in the States, if indeed he does win it, I can't see a way back for him, because the likes of Warner Brothers, Disney will not want to touch a guy that's been labelled a woman beater. They won't want to touch him because it's dirty goods. And then you go into the press junkets and stuff like that as well. It's going to bring up dirty questions. They don't want that publicity, and that's why they've got rid of him. You can then go into hypocrisy, Stephen, and say Amber fucking Heard, she's involved in it. Same process. She gets to keep her job.
Well, John, I think the hypocrisy comes from the studio then.
Yes, Stephen, AT&T took over Warner Brothers, obviously. That's why we started getting the HBO Max stuff, the concurrent releases and streaming service and in the theatres. They didn't want the bad publicity on the back of that. The likes of Denis Villeneuve, and I don't know who else. James Gunn was going after him. Christopher Nolan was going after him. Multiple people going after this sort of, I don't know what you'd call them, umbrella company, AT&T. They didn't want that publicity haunting them with a Johnny Depp situation and an Amber Heard situation, but they chose Johnny Depp to go because of the lawsuit over here. They've kept this manipulator, this abuser, on board. She's going to be starring in Aquaman 2. She's going to be starring in multiple other projects. You've got the producer from Aquaman 2 saying it was never on the cards she was ever going to be sacked from her position. It's fucking hypocritical.
I think though, John, from that point of view, until things have been settled, they can't, no. Because then Amber Heard would take them to court for that.
Yeah, Stephen, obviously they've used the lawsuit, but the defeat in the States and in the United Kingdom. The
United Kingdom's law, John,
and it didn't sack
is different to. I can't remember what it was. It was from an angle they were going from. I can't remember.
It was basically he had to 100% prove that he wasn't a wife beater.
That's ridiculous.
They had to prove it because they'd made an accusation.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, they'd make an accusation that he was a wife beater. He had to then prove libel lawsuit. No, they were lying. So
anyone can just accuse anyone here in the UK, and you've got to prove you're not that.
Well, when it's a corporation, Murdoch Corporation, Stephen, it's very hard. But he had to prove categorically that he hadn't been involved in any abuse, and also there was hearsay, there was back and forth evidence, and there was enough there to convict him as a wife beater. And that's when obviously Disney and Warner Brothers, they've probably looked at their own evidence. They've used that opportunity to mutually consent him out of the contract.
And years to come, John, 20, 30 years now, when Johnny Depp's an old man, this will be a blip in his career.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Just like you said, Robert Downey Jr., that mid-90s to late 90s was a blip in his career. Same with Mel Gibson, although I didn't agree with anything Mel Gibson, anything, Ricky Gervais. But Ricky Gervais got him back the following year, asking him what that meant.
He tried to be funny with Ricky, and Ricky came back on and says, what does sugar tits mean?
Yeah.
Don't take on a comedian, mate. Don't take on a British comedian.
No.
Don't do it. They'll fucking screw you.
Patrick Stewart and James Corden.
Patrick Stewart, to be fair, I'm not a fan of James Corden, Stephen, but you don't take on a comedian. The guy's
he had the right to defend himself.
He had the right to defend himself. He's a quick, witty man.
But getting back to it, John, we're talking in 2040. Do you think Johnny Depp's going to be kept up at night with this?
No, he's a rich man, Stephen. He doesn't care.
His legacy, that's what I'm getting at. His legacy is going to live on forever.
He plays guitar on the band as well, and by the way, he's a good guitarist.
Amber Heard will not be heard about, pardon the pun,
Stephen,
in the next 10 years.
Yeah, Stephen, you weigh up the sort of the legacy of these two careers. Johnny Depp has starred in some tremendous movies over the last 30 years I would say. And obviously, the Tim Burton collaborations, he's going to live long in the memory of a lot of people.
First film I saw was Nightmare on Elm Street, wasn't it? That was one of his first ones.
Then also you've got the likes of Edward Scissorhands growing up watching this
Scissors with Hands, yeah.
Scissors with Hands.
Yeah.
Stephen, he's one of those actors I grew up with, and look, you've got the likes of Winona Ryder, other people he was with, categorically stating this guy, it's not in his nature. Never at any point in the time we were together did he ever even remotely think about doing that, let alone doing that. He goes with this proven manipulator, someone who's abused their own sister. It's there in evidence in the court. His mum, her mother and father were texting Johnny Depp, basically taking his side. That's in evidence in the court. He goes with her, and he starts having these issues.
The vibes from the likes of Jason Momoa as well, and other actors that have worked with her have get bad vibes off her, don't they?
Stephen, look, to me, and look, she's not going to be watching this, so I don't think it's harsh to say. I think the woman's a boot. I think she's played up in the Me Too stuff. She's now lost another lawsuit over in the States, incidentally, about the charity stuff, giving money to a charity. It's been proven she didn't give all the money. She's trying to say, I've got lawsuits to take on in the States, I can't pay it all. She's fucking lied about that. She's a liar. She's a boot to me. She's playing on the Me Too stuff and trying to ruin a man's career, a man's reputation, his image. And you've got previous partners saying it's an absolute nonsense. They vouch for the guy. So for me, it's clear as day. He's got no previous history of domestic abuse. She's got a history of being, at the very least, an ambiguous abuser. There's something going on there. There's black eyes and stuff like that popping up with various people she's in connection with. So for me, I hope he wins the lawsuit over in the States. I hope that a lot of companies, the likes of Disney, Warner Brothers, have to eat a big piece of humble pie and big come apology, back rocking on this guy. Because Stephen, they're trying to do a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It's going to fail. Because there's no Johnny Depp.
Margot Robbie, and it sounds like a recipe for success, but it's going to be a flop.
You shouldn't be making it now, man. It's done. It's had its day, that franchise. But without Johnny Depp, it's dead in the water.
Yeah, pardon the pun.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, John, we'll move on to our next topic, and it's all about Free Guy. We've not really spoke about this. I know you covered a bit about it last week, but
it's underperforming box office. Apparently, it was going to be having an underperforming box office opening.
Well, Free Guy debuts to $28 million. Suicide Squad drops to $7 million in the US. Free Guy opens up above expectations, making it a surprise hit of the summer movie season, while the Suicide Squad has a dramatic fall at the box office. We'll talk about that as well in a moment, John.
But with his coffee cup.
But according
off an orange coffee cup and a blue shirt, quite like Ryan. Certainly not the citizens of Glasgow.
According to Deadline, Free Guy opened at number 1 with $28 million in its first 3 days, opening above expectations, which had it pegged to open at around $15 million. The other two new releases, Don't Breathe 2 and Respect, opened at the number 2 spot with $10.6 million and number 4 spot with $8.8 million respectively. Jungle Cruise held the number 3 spot with $9 million to a domestic total of $82 million.
So it's how good, Jungle Cruise.
Wow. Last week, Dwayne Johnson, isn't it? Let's get that effect.
And
Emily Blunt, yeah.
Man, Jack Whitehall.
Yeah. We'll talk about it if you want as well. Last week's number 1 film, The Suicide Squad, fell 70% this weekend to round out the top 5 with $7.8 million, bringing it domestic total to $42.8 million.
It's not great for Suicide Squad,
it's not,
Stephen, is it?
No,
it's not, but it's pandemic era. There's the Delta variant currently ripping through the heartlands in the United States. People are getting spooked.
Yep.
Even vaccinated people, they're hearing things like the Pfizer vaccine's only 60% or something, 65%. efficacy. It's only got a 65% efficacy against the Delta variant. That's spooking people. They don't want to go into the theatres and risk it. Personally, I don't give a fuck. I went to see, obviously, Suicide Squad last weekend.
Yeah.
I've had 2 vaccinations. I've been at a full football stadium.
Yep.
After that, I've not got the coronavirus. It's 4 days out, 5 days out, I've not got it. So we've been dealing with this Delta variant over here for months now. It's been the dominant variant over here for months. We're seeing numbers dropping pretty much. Things are getting back to a degree of normality. You can go to a theatre and watch it. You can go into a football stadium. You can do whatever the fuck you want now.
We don't have as many anti-vaxxers, John. That's why.
No, we've got our fair share though.
Yeah, but not as many as
crackpot
across
David
there.
worshippers.
Yeah.
Oh, over there it's a real issue because, Stephen, it's been politicised over there once again. The whole pandemic's been politicised, let's be honest, from the very start. The left versus the right, the Democrats versus the Republicans over in the States. And look, it's not just been Trump and the Republicans.
No.
The Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, people like that politicising it. I will not take a Trump vaccine. It's a fucking nonsense. It ain't a Trump vaccine. It's the likes of biotech or whatever they're called, and Oxford, AstraZeneca. This is medicinal companies. This is scientists who have been doing this stuff for years, not get the funding. It's not Trump. Trump's trying to take the credit, and then Trump's obviously, he's a crackpot as well. But Steve, we could get into politics. What's going on in Afghanistan?
John, we've said before
like
about the US politics being very naive and immature at times, but that's for another day.
They're an immature country, Steve. They're still a lot younger than most of Europe.
Free Guy, though, I know we've both not seen it yet. I've seen bits of it, obviously, but it looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Stephen, it does. It looks good. You've got Taika Waititi in there playing a villain. That's usually enough for me, having Taika in there. Just a great guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, see if you could give me top 3, 4, 5 maybe people I'd want to, if I ever get the chance to start interviewing people.
Or a round table, John. There you are.
If you were to give me top 5 people I'd want to meet, fucking Taika's right in there.
Yeah.
Right in there. George Lucas used to pick his brains about Star Wars. Try to think who else, man. If you could bring back from the dead, probably Gene Wilder.
Wow.
There's a couple in there, man, I'd want to speak to. Couple of names. Gary Oldman, love Gary Oldman. I don't know, man. Who else would you find in at number 5, Stephen?
I would put Mark Hamill in there.
Quentin Tarantino probably in there as well. There's a few, but Taika's in there. Taika, love the guy. Just a great brain.
Christopher Lloyd's a great.
I'd
love to sit with him.
Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Bring him back from the dead, man. Put that guy's brain. Spoke fluent German. Didn't know this until he was long gone. Fucking incredible brain. So what I'm saying, Stephen, is you've got Taika Waititi in there going off in tangents. This is what beer does to you.
Yeah.
This is what Caribbean red rum beer does to you. You start speaking in tangents. You start losing the plot mid-sentence as well. Taika Waititi, when he's in there, that's enough for me. You put in Ryan Reynolds, you put in some of the other cast members that are in there. And Stephen, it looks like a good concept, done well. From the trailers, I spoke about it last week. Not a trailer, or a promotional campaign that really grabbed me. It looked average from me. But when you start seeing some of the critical response, it's got a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It seems to be a pretty damn good movie, and I can't wait to go and see it in the theatres. We actually, it's Sin's Corner, is it? It came in.
Yeah.
I think she came in during the show, and she said she was going to go and see it this week or last
week.
John,
I checked out their YouTube channel. Very good one, by the way. Sin's Corner. You should check it out, guys.
Good green screen.
Excellent.
Impressed. We tried the concept of green screen. It was too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
Try to light that green screen, man. It felt like it wasn't going to work,
and
we'd probably have to stand as well.
It would look like those early sort of action shots in the movie we just reviewed, Gilly, yeah.
Stephen, that was done better than what we could ever produce, let's be honest. It would look like, I don't know, it looked fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It looked really bad. Terminator 2-esque.
It would look
stop motion.
Fake.
But what I'm saying is, I think she was going to go and see it. I'd love to hear if she perhaps comments, and maybe go into her channel and see what her review is, get her opinion as well.
Yeah.
It looks like a good movie. I'm going to go and watch it. I'm glad to see it's made money, man. It's made more than what was predicted. I think they were predicting 15, 17 or something. There you go, it's right in front of me, 15 million. It's made nearly double.
Yeah.
So, signs that perhaps people are regaining confidence. The box office is rebounding. Too late for James Gunn and Warner Brothers. But I think it's too late for the likes of June coming out.
I think it's the Ryan Reynolds effect, though, isn't it, as well, John?
Stephen, if you're going to catch coronavirus going to see a guy's movie, it'd be Ryan Reynolds, wouldn't it? Because you'd have a laugh while catching.
He's doing the whole breaking the fourth wall thing again. That's his thing, isn't
He's
it?
He's doing Deadpool stuff as well. He's making little nods to other franchises. He's got his big muscled up. I'm going to watch I'm blanking on her name. Terrible. Corner.
Sin's Corner?
No, the fucking guys. I'm blanking on their name.
Oh,
Corner Crew.
The Choreographer's Corner,
I did say Corner. This is the beer. They've done good and bad CG, and they're actually speaking about the muscled up guy character from Free Guy, so I'll have to watch their opinion on that. CG looked fucking good to me, man. Howling at it in the theatres, watching it again.
It looks fantastic, John, visually, and obviously the comedy in there.
So I can't wait to go and see it, man, see how they've pulled this off, this sort of concept of a game. I'm sure there'll be satire in there as well about the modern lifestyle and being caught up in your phones, being caught up in virtual reality, not being aware of your actual reality, pissing your life away if you like, and there'll be laughs in there and it'll be brilliant. I cannot wait to go and see it. Glad to see it's made money, and hopefully it makes more money, because Disney have shown faith in it, Stephen. They've not put it on a streaming service, they've delayed it and they've got it out in the theatre, so fucking pay them back.
I think, John, with a film like that though, there's not a lot of expectation other than it's a Ryan Reynolds movie, but it's not in the sort of vein of the likes of Black Widow or anything like that that's been anticipated. This one, I know it's obviously been in the making, we've not really covered it that much at all in this show, but it's just kind of slightly went under the radar compared to those sort of big MCU films.
Shang-Chi coming out, you've got Eternals coming out, June coming out, No Time to Die, Suicide Squad, before that Black Widow,
Spider-Man.
John,
Spider-Man was trending on Twitter today and I got really excited. I went, oh, something's happened. I think they've actually I think they finished filming.
Is that finished? I thought it was long finished.
I think it is done now. I don't know if it was.
This movie's coming out December.
Yeah.
Well, fucking.
It must be reshoot, or pick up shots they call it, isn't it? Not
4 months
reshoots.
away,
Yeah.
Not one trailer, not even a teaser.
John, it's.
You know what's going on there.
I have
They're
never
terrified to show any footage because they know it's spoilers everywhere.
I have never known a Spider-Man film to be this secretive.
Because there's going to be 2 other Spider-Man guys.
Oh, John, I hope so.
I
hope so.
Stephen, did you? I don't know if you were you on the show? Was it me doing it on my lonesome? I think it was me doing it on my lonesome.
I think it was. Yeah.
Fucking Vulture. Michael Keaton's in Morbius. He was asked a
in the
question.
Sonyverse,
Is it going to be Lincoln? That's for the future to tell. He's hinting that he could be in this movie and Morbius could be jumping over to Spider-Man. We could have Morbius coming in as a Sinister Six, getting out and potentially appearing in a Blade movie. The sky's the limit. I cannot wait for it.
It is, but John, I can't wait to see this film with Ryan Reynolds. Really looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure we'll do a review at some point as well once we catch it. But we'll move on to our next topic, and it's our final topic. We're only doing 4 tonight.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, but I left it too late. I was going to ask you to speak about something else.
If it comes out into your head, John, we can.
Lou absolutely gutting Disney. It was.
All right. Okay.
Regarding. The experiment with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, just putting it out in theatres in 45-day theatrical window. We'll speak about it another day.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we're talking about Zendaya's character, Chani, or Shani, is it, John? Listen, this is where my June knowledge
You're going to learn that I've only read about half of this fucking book.
John, I saw the TV movie back in the day, but with Kyle McLaughlin.
Frank Herbert, great brain, incredible what he's created there, but his writing technique is fucking annoying.
So excuse me if I mispronounce some of these characters' names, but Zendaya's character Chani is the future concubine, I think that's how you say it, of Chalamet's Paul Atreides and daughter of Imperial planetologist Elite Kynes, who is set to be played by British actress Sharon Duncan Brewster, a central figure in Herbert's first 2 June first 2 June novels. New details from director Villeneuve suggest that June Part 2 will have her character replace Chalamet's Paul as the narrative's leading figure. Speaking with Italian magazine Il Venerdì di Repubblica, Villeneuve, John, I've just watched Luca, so the Italian's rolling off the tongue. Villeneuve explained that he is keen to get back to work on the second part and revealed Chani's enhanced role. Check out what he had to say below, which we will. It's very short and sweet, John. It says, I can't wait to shoot the second part of June to get Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya back together, knowing that in the next chapter Zendaya will be the protagonist of the story. Now, John,
intriguing indeed.
Now, I think if maybe you're well versed in the book, the novel, the film, the previous film, then this may come as a big surprise to you in the direction he's taken this and where he's taken one of the characters as the leading protagonist in the second part of the story.
Yeah, well, Stephen, it's the Paul Atreides story, the first week. I'm pretty sure it is. It's the legend of this guy coming from this lush green world to this deserty, spice-ridden world, brought there by his father. There's a whole lot of pressure on him to be the future leader of it. I think it's you've got barons and you've got dukes and stuff like that. The leader of the is it Leto? It's Atreides. I'm talking fucking shit. Leto's the villain. It's the beer.
Jared.
The beer is going to beer's going to get me. But he's got all these pressures on him. He goes there and then he ends up becoming the chosen one for the free people, the freemen, if you like, of Arrakis. So it's really about Paul Atreides. I'm pretty damn sure the first book's about Paul Atreides. It expands out. You've got the children of the Atreides. I think there's twins and stuff like that. I don't know if they actually focused on this character to that degree in the books. I may be wrong. I've only read a certain part of the first book, and I get enough of a sense of the characters and of the world and of the brilliance. I'll need to go back and finish it. I've got the attention span of a pea at times. Other times it's brilliant. I don't know if I've got ADHD. That's still to be found out. I'm pretty sure at some point I'll find that out. But yeah, it's ballsy. And look, it's Denis Villeneuve, and I trust this guy to get the adaptation right. If he wants to change up some things, change up the perspective of the characters leading, then I'm doing Trump hands here, leading. Then look, I trust the guy to get it right. And look, Zendaya's a great actor, and doing the flipperoo, the switcheroo if you'd like, having Chalamet leading, being the perspective, the protagonist in the first movie, still been in the second movie, but it's switching to Zendaya. That'd be a very intriguing way to do it, because you're getting it from this guy's perspective, the pressures, then you're getting it from the sort of Freeman, Arrakis perspective. Make a sort of a nice duology of this one story, getting the two different perspectives from two very different people. Stephen, I trust this guy to do anything, man. He's a fucking incredible director. I spoke about it before. He's one of the best in the business today. He's up there with the ones in Tarantino's. And the other guy, Paul Greengrass. Is it Greengrass? I need to search that up. The other guy, Sabir. I trust him. Arrival, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049. He's a fucking stupendous filmmaker with an incredible vision and ability to make huge worlds pop on the screen. And this is the perfect setting for this guy, man. Rich in lore. He can take out the best bits and really make these characters feel lived and breathed in, if you'd like, if that's the right thing to say. I cannot wait to see this guy's adaptation.
Do you know any other films that have done that, John, with a second part where they've took the perspective of one of the other sort of...
I've not seen any other movie do that, Stephen, I'm aware of, apart from Clint Eastwood's The Flags of Our Fathers. That
was more stories though, wasn't it?
But it was different perspectives of the same battle.
Same battle,
you see the Japanese side, you see the American. Apart from that, I've not really seen anybody else do it. Also, you've got multi-story adaptations of novels, The Hobbit being a free part. Some would say that was too far. I didn't bother. Quite like seeing Middle-earth adapted to the
as
big
much
screen.
as possible. I
was going to search up there. I was going to search something up there, and it's completely left my brain, Stephen. I don't know what it was. So that's absolutely fine. We'll forget about that.
Do we know when the actual sale of the tickets going for June?
I don't. It's coming out shortly, isn't it? It's next month. 2 months. When's it coming out? October?
October? Well, it's 2 months, Yeah,
21st of October it's coming out, so probably be another month or so, Stephen, I'd have thought before. But I'm going to IMAX to see this movie.
IMAX it, John,
100% going to IMAX to see this movie. This is the first time I've been in an IMAX for 9 years.
2012,
Dark Knight Rises. I've not been back because it was a poor experience. You've got the kid on IMAXs, of course. Cineworld will do scaled down IMAXs, but we've got a proper IMAX.
We've got a theatre that's designed for IMAX,
and it's fucking unreal. So we have to go in there. I will physically pay every fucker's ticket to go and see this movie.
I can't wait, John. It's going to be another one that we're going to have to review as well.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of big films coming out we have to watch and review, and a lot of trailers coming out as well for these big films. I can't wait. And
that's going to be good for our channel, Steve. Tapping into that, hopefully, and getting some growth. That's what it's all about. You want to reach as many eyeballs as possible. You want to get as many people invested in the channel as possible. You want people to be coming back, man, and getting involved and creating a community. That's what it's all about. Sadly, not fucking happening just now. But I'm sure in time it will come. If you build it, they will come, as the Field of Dreams once famously said. Who was it was in that, Stephen? Was that
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. That's a low-key decent. And I was blanking his name.
James Earl Jones.
No, the other one from Goodfellas.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta. He's in it. He's a baseball player. I was blanking his name.
I've not seen that in years, John.
Oh, it's a great movie, Stephen. It really is. I grew up with that. Loved it. I don't know why, because I'm not from America and don't particularly know a lot about baseball. Red Sox fan, but no, I don't know a lot about baseball. Red Sox fan because I support every other fucking Boston team. So if you're going to support one, you'd be as well supporting the rest. But more an American football fan. But look, man, that's going to round the show up. I'm going off. I'm waffling. What is your thoughts on the array of topics we have touched upon on the show tonight? What do you make about Salman Khan saying no thanks to Master, the Hindi remake? What do you make about the other topics we touched upon? I'm going to bring it up so I remember them all and there's nothing being missed. Johnny Depp speaking out about the sort of boycott of him, the toxic nature of Hollywood, and why they're all a bunch of hypocritical fuckers. and they're keeping this third figure on, paying her more money when she's involved in these same shenanigans. What do you make about Folly Eye opening up at $28 million in the box office over in the States? Nearly double what it was intended to make, what it was projected to make, I should say, during the pandemic. What's your thoughts on that? And finally, what do you make about June potentially following Chani, Dune, in the second movie? What do you make about the Villeneuve changing things up, doing the old switcheroo, taking Chalamet out and putting in Zendaya as the main woman? If you've got anything to say about Woman, if you've got anything to say, that's PewDiePie and other people have hijacked it. If you've got anything to say about those topics, you can comment down below in the comment section and share your thoughts down there. That'd be much appreciated if you feel compelled to do so. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see more content like this in the future. And that's how you enable it. But now I'm done. Stephen's done. I'll be back tomorrow. Stephen's having a little siesta. Bye bye.